This is Bryson Engelin of Sonoma Partners with part 6 in our series on Microsoft Dynamics CRM for architecture, engineering, and construction firms. So in previous videos, we've talked about navigating through Dynamics CRM in the browser, accounts, opportunities, projects, and dashboards. And in this video, I want to walk you through the Outlook experience of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So Microsoft Dynamics CRM can be accessed via a browser, and it's browser agnostic, so you could do it through Internet Explorer or Firefox or Chrome or what have you. And in addition to going through the browser, you can actually do all of the work that you want to do in Dynamics CRM via Outlook. So every single thing that you want to do in Dynamics CRM, you can do in Outlook. So every single thing you do in the browser, you can also do in Outlook, and more. So a lot of people like to think of this experience as putting Outlook on steroids or making Outlook sort of Outlook Plus, because the native integration right from Microsoft blends Microsoft Dynamics CRM and Outlook together. So my Outlook actually looks very similar probably to your Outlook. Even though I'm working on Outlook 2013, I still have the ribbon up at the top, and that ribbon has things like replying to emails or forwarding emails. And then very subtly embedded in here, there's a CRM section that I'll get to in a minute. The other way that you can tell that my Outlook is a little different from yours is I have my inboxes here, my mailbox items, but then I can move from this email I'm on and I can jump right over to a list of companies. So with Outlook, I have my personal intelligence, my emails, my calendar appointments, my contacts, my tasks. But with the Microsoft Dynamics CRM integration into Outlook, I now have a view of all of the collective intelligence at my company, our companies, our contacts, our opportunities, everyone we work with. You can see that when I look at the list of companies or accounts or clients, whatever you want to name it, I have a list here of all 67. If you remember the first video that I did, the navigation overview, there were 67 companies we work with as a firm. And there are different views, different reports on this data. So if I want to look at those system views, I can do that up there, or I can look at my views. And again, those can be created for me or by me. And the way they display here is in these different tabs. So if you've used Excel before, you always know that in Excel you can have different tabs on the data, and the tabs are at the bottom. Here the tabs are at the top, so it's very familiar looking to you. So much like you have a list of emails, you have a list of the different companies here. And then below that you have a preview pane, and that preview pane allows you to look at what's going on with this particular account. So just like you have an email, you have those list of emails and a preview pane at the bottom. Here you have the CRM records and a preview pane down here at the bottom. And of course, these are records in and of themselves. You can double click on them and they open up and you can see the full form, just like you can double click on an email and see the full email. Other ways this is similar to what you can do with all of your Outlook data is if you right click on a record, and I don't care if it's an account or if it's an opportunity or a project, whatever kind of record it is, you can right click on it. And that sort of unlocks the magic of what you can do with this record. Just like right clicking anywhere in a Microsoft application will unlock the magic. Here on an account record or any kind of record, I can right click on it and I can create a related record. So I could create a task or an email related to this account. Or I could categorize this account. Just like I can categorize my emails and sort of say, if it's an email I need to respond to by the end of the day, it's going to be in red. If it's one I need to respond to this week, it's going to be in blue. I can do the same with my accounts or opportunities or projects, whatever record type I want. And I can create a follow-up task just by right-clicking, just like you do with emails, where I can say, I need to follow up with this account by the end of today, and it'll create that little annoying Outlook box that pops up and reminds me, hey, you have to do this. Other fun things that you can do that are very similar to what you do in Outlook is you can group these different records. So if you group emails by the sender, same process here. I can right click on the column headings and I could group these maybe by the client type, so I can see all of my accounts that are of government agencies, the ones that are county or state, municipal, airport, so on and so forth. When I'm done with that grouping, or I don't need that column anymore, I can just drag and drop it off and I can go back to my original list and I can drag and drop off any column that I need. If I need to add a new column, right click, add a column. Same thing that you've always done using Outlook. And if you need to filter, it's the same sort of filtering that you use in Excel, so I can add a filter on pretty much any kind of field that I have here, and I can add that filter, then save that filter as a new view, and that's what's going to create those views that we saw before, those My Views. And just like we saw in the navigation overview, I now can also look at the charts up against any of the data that I'm working with. So all of this functionality happening in Outlook drives you to be able to do all of your data analysis, all of your intelligence, all of your work in Outlook using CRM data. And of course, you can actually not just view CRM data here in Outlook, you can take Outlook data, like an email, and you can promote it from your personal intelligence of Outlook all the way up to CRM. So let me show you how that works. So we've got this email here from Alicia Brosette, and Alicia wants to do some work with us. And let's pretend like we've never met Alicia before, and we've never met the colleague that she CC'd here, Darren McCarthy. And Alicia has sent along an email that also has a request for proposal. So there's a document here. So there are 10 things that I want to be able to do with this. 1, I want to create a contact record for Alicia in my Outlook so I can see her. 2, I want to create a contact record for Alicia in CRM so that my colleagues can see her. 3, create a contact record for Darren, her colleague, in my Outlook so I can see him. 4, create a contact record for Darren in CRM so that everyone can see him. 5, I want to be able to track this email up against Alicia so I can see her entire activity history on her CRM record. 6, have this email live up against Darren McCarthy's contact record in CRM. 7, I want to have the RFP, that request for proposal document, living up against the emails that are tracked in the system. And then 8, let's have this email living up against also the account record, which you can see that they work for Kaiser Permanente. The final 2 things, 9, I want to have the entire discussion tracked in CRM. So if I reply or if Darren replies, I want CRM to be able to have that in there, and Outlook will automatically push that over there. And then 10, if I want to take a piece of the conversation out, so something irrelevant, like us talking about our dogs that not everybody needs to see, I can take that part of the conversation out so it's just in my Outlook, but leave all of the other emails that someone else might want to know about in CRM. Doing all that is as simple as going up to the ribbon and using track. And once I do that, that email is living in CRM. It's created those contact records if they're not in there. If those contact records are in there, it's just appending the email to the existing contact records. It's not creating duplicates. And I can also set regarding. So I can set this up against any record in the system. And you can see that that could be a client, company, account, whatever you want to call it record. It could be an opportunity. It could be a project, anything you want it to be. Here I'm going to go ahead and set it up against Kaiser Permanente. That's who they work for. So at this point, I now have that email living and breathing in Outlook and in CRM, and I can actually open up these records directly from that email record. This same sort of functionality is going to be true of appointments. So if you have an appointment on your calendar, you can actually take that appointment and you can push that up to Dynamics CRM. Same thing with contacts. I can take a contact that's living and breathing in my Outlook, and I can push it up to CRM. You can see that I have a couple contacts here like Abe Lincoln living in CRM and Outlook, or I can take Abe Arn and I could track him and push him up from Outlook into Dynamics CRM so everyone could see him. So now I have the ability to have emails pushed up into CRM, appointments from Outlook pushed up into CRM. I can have tasks pushed from CRM that are created via workflow down into my Outlook, and those records go 2 ways. And then, of course, I can always go and look at my list of companies, and I can also open up the Kaiser Permanente record, and I can see everything related to Kaiser Permanente here in Outlook. So I'm still in Outlook. You can see there's Outlook over on the side over here, and this is the form of Kaiser Permanente's record rendering for me in Outlook, complete with link being available for me. So I can send an email, or I can IM, or I can phone call, or I can screen share, do all those things that I want to do with link using this account form here in Outlook. So that's just a quick overview of how Microsoft Dynamics CRM works within Outlook. So there's a very tight native integration. Your emails, appointments, tasks, and contacts can move back and forth between the 2 systems, and that's always going to be true for you. If you have additional questions, feel free to contact us at sonomapartners.com, and thank you for your time.